Hello folks, this is a short little lecture that's going to look at place value and rounding and make sure that we are comfortable with these two very important topics before we move on to bigger and better things in math like our four functions or fractions or decimals. Let's start by talking about place value. First, what on earth is place value? Place value is the value of a digit by virtue of where it is found in a number. Place value is what makes 80 and 800 and 8,000 and 80,000 all worth a different amount, even though all they really have in them is an 8 and a bunch of zeros. If you owe $800 on your rent and you only give your landlord $80, that will not go well for any of you. And that's because of where that 8 is in the number. So by place value, you've probably seen this or something like this before. If you think very far back to elementary school math. We always start labeling our place value in a number on the very far right of the number, starting all the way over here. When we get to decimals, we'll have a decimal on this side going to the right here, and we'll have to talk about place value for your decimals. But for now, we're just going to work on whole numbers. I would spend some time committing this to memory. If you have never seen this place value chart before, this is a good thing to make sure you know. So our first set of three numbers right here, our first place value on the very far right of any number is the ones place. From there we have the tens. We multiply by 10 each time we go up. From tens, we go to hundreds, multiplied by 10. 10 times 10 is 100. And then usually you'll see a comma in between the hundreds and the thousands. This just helps keep your number nice and neat and organized and easy to read. In some parts of the world, you'll see they'll use a decimal instead of a comma, and use a comma for what we would have as a decimal point, and then it gets very confusing. But for now, you'll see I'll put a comma in with most of my writing and numbers. After the hundreds place, we move into our thousands section. We have from hundreds to thousands. 100 times 10 is 1,000. So we have 1,000, and then 10,000, and then 100,000, and then from 100,000 we go into the millions place. And then we follow the same pattern here, million, and then 10 million, then 100 million. After million, we will have billion. And then 10 billion and 100 billion. After billion, we get trillion, and 10 trillion and 100 trillion, and it keeps going and going. I think after trillion, it's something like quadrillion. The nice news about medical math is we usually don't get up into the millions place, so you should be okay. But I would, like I said, be very comfortable with being able to pull any number out of or any digit out of a number and say what place value that digit is in. For example, our number 3,428 here. If we were to pull each number out of its place value and look at it, we could say that we have 3 in the thousands place, 4 hundreds, we have 2 tens, and we have 8 ones. So again, be able to pick any number and tell what place value that digit is in that number. So to give you some examples of how you might see this, say, on a homework assignment, looking at very basic place values, what is the place value of the 5 in the following numbers? How about 15? Here's our 5 here on the very far right of our number. What place value is he in? Well, he's in the ones place. If you have $15, you have a $10 bill and 5 ones. How about this? 5,682. Our 5 is in the thousands place. 24,659. Here's our 5. He's in the tens place. And our last one, 512,683. Our 5 is in the hundred thousands place. I know that for some of you this may seem very, very simplistic, but this is an important building block to have because I will be referring to place value within a number a great deal in future assignments and future lectures, especially as we talk about things like adding and subtracting, and as we talk about rounding, which is our next topic that we're going to look at. So this is a nice segue to bring us into rounding. So why do we round? What's the point of rounding? Rounding allows us to estimate the answer to a number. We can use it to estimate the answer to a problem. We can use it to estimate just a total in general. It gives us an easier, more solid number to work with. For example, if you had 786 tongue depressors in the clinic, it's much easier to say that you have 800 tongue depressors in the clinic and round that up, unless of course you need an exact number. We round all the time in real life without really thinking about it. If I told you that I have 48 dogs, that's a lot of dogs. I'm probably a hoarder and I need help. But 48 dogs is very close to having 50 dogs. Or if I say I have 811, antique china teacups, that would easily round to 800. I've got about 800 antique china teacups. I'm not really a hoarder. Please don't call the TV show. If you get $14.95 back in change from the supermarket, that's close to getting 15 bucks back in change. So we round all the time, like I said, without really considering that. So how do we round? There are two things that we need to know when we're rounding, and that is which place value are you rounding to, which is why we just went over place value, and then what's the number to the right of that place value. I like this little poem right here. I know it's a little simplistic, but that's okay. How many little rhymes from kindergarten and elementary school do you still remember? So find your place and look next door. Your place is which place value are you rounding to? Look next door, which is the number to the right of that place value. And then if the number next door is 5 or greater, you'll add one more to your place. All digits in front will stay the same. All digits behind, 0 is your name. So all the digits in front of your place will stay the same. All the digits behind your place will become a 0. So practically, what would this look like then? Okay, let's say we have 57,265, and we need to round it to the nearest 100. So first step, find your place. What number is in the hundreds place? That's our 2 right there. Find your place, and then look next door. What number is next door to the right, always to the right, of our hundreds place? Well, that's our 6 right here. The 6 is what's going to tell our number in our place, our 2 in this case. He's going to tell the 2 what to do. If that 6 is, or if the number next door is 5 or greater, our place is going to go up by 1. If the number next door is less than 5, our place is going to stay the same. So because the number next door here is greater than 5, 6 is greater than 5, our place is going to go up by 1. So we'll have 57,000. Our place goes up by 1 to 3. And then all digits behind our place will become 0. So our next door number and that 5 as well will also become a 0. So 57,265 rounds up to 57,300 when we round to the nearest 100. Now, what if our number next door was less than that, was less than 5? So here we have 57,235. We're rounding to the nearest 100. 2 is in the hundreds place. There's our place. And next door, instead of a 6, now we got this 3 right here. So 3 is less than 5. So instead of adding one more, like we did up here, where a 2 became a 3, instead of adding one more, our place is going to stay the same. So we'll have 57,002, and then everything to the right of our place will always become a 0. So 57,200. So we kept our place number the same because the number next door was less than 5. Another example, we have 2,493 and we want to round to the nearest 1,000. So again, let's start by finding our place. So we're rounding to the nearest 1,000. What number is in that thousands place value? That's our 2. So there's our place. What number is next door? Directly to the right is that 4. Our 4 is next door. Okay, next question. Is our 4 5 or greater? No, he's less than 5. So because he's less than 5, our place is not going to change. It's going to stay that 2. And then remember, all digits behind 0 is your name, so everything to the right of our place number becomes a 0. So 2,493 will round to 2,000 if we're rounding to the nearest 1,000. How about this guy, 4,549, that we're rounding to the nearest 1,000? So find your place. What is in the thousands place? In this case, it's our 4 right here. And then look next door, which is our 5. 5 or greater, add 1 more. So our 5, our next door number, is 5 or greater, which means that we're going to add 1 more to the place value, to the 4. 4 becomes a 5. And then all digits in front stay the same. We don't have anything in front of our place number. All digits behind, 0 is your name. So these last 3 here will all become zeros, and we'll get 5,000. 4,549 rounds to 5,000 when we're going to the nearest 1,000. Let's look at one more. Okay, 19,952 rounded to the nearest 1,000. So find our place. We're rounding to the thousands place, so that's going to be this first 9 right here. And then look next door. Directly next door to our 9, directly to the right, is, hey look, another 9. If our 9 is 5 or greater, or if our number next door is 5 or greater, add 1 more. So that 9 is definitely greater than 5. So that means we're going to add 1 to our place number. But if we add 1 to our place number, we wind up with 10. So in this case, because we can't have 1 and 10 and then 0, 0, 0, because that doesn't work. In this case, not only is our 9 in the place position going to roll over and go up 1, but so is that 1 there. Think about the last time you watched the odometer on your car roll over. Because our 9 goes up to 10, it's going to take that 1 with it and turn the 1 into a 20. So 19,952 rounds to 20,000 when we round to the nearest 1,000. Here we have 247,493 that we're going to round to the nearest 10,000. So again, our place number first. So we're rounding to the nearest 10,000. Which number here is in the 10,000s place? That's going to be this first 4 right here is our place number. And then look next door. Next door is our 7. Is our 7 5 or greater, or is it less than 5? Our 7's 5, or our 7 is greater than 5. Excuse me. So that means that our 4 will add 1 more to that, and our 4 will become a 5. And then again, everything behind our place number will become a 0. So when rounding to the nearest 10,000, 247,493 will round up to 250,000. Hopefully this was a bit of a refresher. I'm pretty sure we've all seen rounding at one point or another, but it can be tricky sometimes to remember which number gets changed and which number stays the same. So hopefully this was a good refresher for you. If you have questions about this topic or would like to go over it further, drop by office hours and we can go over it together. Otherwise, take what we've gone over here and go ahead and apply it to your homework, and good luck on that assignment.